Same old New York. And they tell me, a lot of people tell me that when a big star comes to New York, they're besieged by autograph towns. That's what they tell me. Well,
the funny thing about Bob Hope was he grew old, but not dated.
Did you know that Hollywood is 100 years old? Of course, I didn't come here until 50 years ago. I wanted to make sure it was going to last.
He simplified comedy to standing on a stage and telling jokes.
The Supreme Court ruled no more praying in school. From now on, the kids have to study to get good marks.
You would listen to him and say, this man is still on the front page of today's paper. His style was timeless. There's some things that come and go, but his style was timeless.
And everything's going up at home, prices, taxes, and miniskirts.
A little of Bob Hope lives today in every comedian telling a joke.
Women always say to us, and guys, you know what I'm talking about, they always say, you know they ain't real, they all hard and everything, they ain't real. Do they know we don't care whether they real or not?
I don't care what age you are and what color you are. You need to know the game, and Bob's the game.
Every comedian makes fun of the South, and that's not fair because there's stupid people everywhere. And I'll tell you what.
I like his style, and to this day, mine is similar in that it's fast. It's one-liners. Let's go, let's go, let's go.
I did not like China. The whole country was like a giant Where's Waldo book, and I was Waldo.
I want to tell you, there's a lot of hijacking when the airport souvenir shops start selling ammunition.
He made it seem like an art. Before that, I don't know that anybody would have considered it that. I'm funny, here it is, buy it or don't. And they, we all bought it. The world bought it.
Hope led the way for the quick setup and punchline.
I understand they just shipped Cher her new summer wardrobe. The envelope should arrive in a week or so.
It worked for him, and still works for comedians coming up through the clubs.
Yeah, just trying to get through life, I'm starting to lose my hair, and, well, I'm not losing it, it's in my brush.
I advise any young comedian starting out to at least start with Bob Hope, and you'll learn so much, whether you think his jokes were funny or not.
Ed Sullivan's had some big shows, but next week he's going to top them all. He's going to start a brush fire in Elvis Presley's sideburns.
He was smooth. He was just very confident. He was smooth up there. And when I'm rattled up there, I try to do the same thing. I just plow on.
I tipped the guy for a bad haircut. I need that money for a hat. Yeah, good timing with the dishes.
It's quite a thing, and I want to say that Senator McCarthy has certainly made a name for himself. I don't know what it is, but he's made it.
He was a real bomb thrower at a certain point, in a very sort of sly way. He was that wisecracker who stood on the corner and watched the parade pass by and made ironic little comments about it. Nowadays, you really have to take what he did to a much further extent and go right for the jugular. It was take your daughter to work day, or as they call it at Nike's Vietnamese shoe factories, Thursday.
Comedy today has become something that Bob Hope's routines were not. Mean and often obscene.
This man always took the tough road. He always worked clean, classy. Usually comedy has to have a victim. There are less victims in the path of Bob Hope's monologue than probably anyone. And that's much harder.
A comedian couldn't make it today being just like Bob Hope.
A member of my staff asked me when I was going to retire. I told him when I can no longer hear the sound of laughter. He said, that never stopped you before.
And a comedian couldn't make it without being a little like Bob Hope either.
Happy Cannon has said on national television, not once but twice, and I quote, women are not genetically inclined towards ambition. I was laying there on the couch thinking,
Brian Rooney, ABC News, Hollywood.